For as long as there have been space explorers, they've been trying to find a way to travel faster than light to reach the far reaches of the universe. Even though a trip across the country, or even across the world, is only a few hours long, the distances involved in space travel necessitate a much faster pace. There are numerous drawbacks to all of the methods that have been discovered, but scientists have found a new one. How does it all work? What are the specifications? Will you be able to travel with it soon? Join us as we introduce you to a new method of traveling faster than light. Light is everywhere, which is both fascinating and essential. We can walk around without stumbling into things thanks to the sun and other artificial light sources invented by humans. However, you may have heard that it is akin to a fast-paced journey. How fast does light travel? The exact speed of light is unknown, and it serves as the foundation for most other measurements. There are precisely 299,792,458 meters per second, or 983,571,056 feet of light traveling through a vacuum. That works out to be 186,282 miles in a half-hour worth of travel time. But you won't even notice that light travels if you turn on a bulb in a dark room. Light fills the room almost instantly. Another unit of measurement involving light is the light year, which is the distance light can travel in 1 year. This figure is approximately 6 trillion miles or 10 trillion kilometers in length. Astronomers and physicists use a single method to measure the vast distances across our universe. As previously stated, light can take many years to travel from one end of the universe to the other. As an example, the distance between the moon and our eyes, measured in light seconds, is about half that distance. It takes about 8 minutes for sunlight to reach our eyes, indicating that the sun is 8 light minutes away. Astronomical light, our closest neighboring star system, takes 4.3 years to arrive. As a result, it takes 4.3 light years to travel to Alpha Centauri. Other stars and objects can be seen from a few light years to a few billion light years away. This is why astronomers' observations of distant galaxies are nothing more than a glimpse into the past. They see a light that depicts the object as it was when the light was emitted for distant objects. Light can be used for a wide variety of fascinating applications. Scientists have tried to find a way to travel at the speed of light, but so far, they have traveled. This is significant because it means that we, as a species, will be able to travel to other planets. With Elon Musk's plans for a settlement on Mars, his astronauts will have to travel through space for 5 months before they arrive on the red planet. It can take up to a year, depending on how close the two planets are to each other. And that's with all the dangers that come with it. They can, however, travel a long distance in under 4 minutes thanks to traveling at the speed of light. Researchers have experimented with a wide range of methods to travel at a high rate of speed. In the meantime, we've put together this video for your viewing pleasure. A problem that no other method could ever solve has always existed, even achieving 1% of the speed of light, which is still relatively fast and can take you from Los Angeles to New York in just over a second, is extremely difficult. It boils down to one word: energy. It is kinetic energy, which physicists refer to as the energy of motion found in all moving things. Increasing kinetic energy is necessary if you want to go faster. It takes 4 times as much kinetic energy to double the speed of something than it does to make it go half as fast. Increasing the speed of something by 3 times requires 9 times as much energy as increasing it by 3 times. For example, it would take 200 trillion joules to accelerate a 10-year-old weighing 110 pounds to 1% of the speed of light. 2 million Americans use about the same amount of energy each day. Among the technologies that have been touted as allowing us to travel to the farthest reaches of the cosmos quickly is the EM drive. For this discovery, which has even been patented, the microwaves are trapped and bounce to generate thrust. From the outside, the chamber is sealed off. If it doesn't use fuel or thrust, it will appear to move on its own. On Newton's second law of motion, force is defined as the rate of change in momentum. The EM drive uses this principle. When an electromagnetic wave traveling at the speed of light hits a reflector, its momentum is transferred to the reflector, resulting in a minimal force. To use the EM drive, which sounds simple but fundamentally alters how we think about physics, we must first accumulate a small amount of this tiny force. When there is no energy flowing in or out, we wonder, how do the waves begin? How are they able to keep going? What is the source of this momentum? The EM drive isn't taken seriously by many scientists because it doesn't have an explanation for how it generates its momentum. Many physicists think they know that the universe could be proven wrong if the EM drive works. Scientists at the Dresden University of Technology even tested the EM drive and found that the results NASA and China had claimed to show a thrust were all false positives. However, Dr. Eric Lentz, a physicist with more than 10 years of practical lens experience, has demonstrated that the warp drive has great potential. It wasn't even the first to work on making the warp drive reality, not just a sci-fi concept. Miguel Alcubierre, a Mexican mathematician, was the first to attempt it. It was 1994 when this happened. Warp drives were born due to his ideas, which were incorporated into official documentation for the first time. Unfortunately, as the Alcubierre warp drive has come to be known, it is highly energy intensive and necessitates the use of dangerous exotic matter. Scientists haven't seen or made any of this highly radioactive stuff, so it can only be considered theoretical. Since then, a few modifications have been proposed, including one by former NASA engineer Dr. Harold G. Sonny White in 2010 to the Alcubierre's drive's physical design. But it was still not practical because it still required exotic matter, albeit at a much lower level than the Alcubierre method, and the amount of energy needed had been reduced. Applied Physics, a group of Swiss researchers, came forth with their concept. It's interesting to note that their warp bubble was created without using any exotic materials. Despite this, their model could not travel faster than the speed of light, which is the ultimate goal for all space travel. For the purpose of illustrating how his idea differs from others that have been floated, the classical Alcubierre drive, on which most other solutions are based, is the first thing that Lenz draws attention to. He claimed that the Alcubierre solution painted a clear picture of what a warp drive would do. Put another way, shrink the space in front of the ship or transport and expand the space behind it. Lenz claims that despite its central role, the warp drive is not indispensable to warp travel, and this shows the wave of a curvature of a ship will ride to its destination as evidence. Instead, he believes in a theory put forth by physicist Jose Nazario in 2000, which demonstrated that the ship could move forward without expansion and contraction. That work led him to reconsider the possibility of creating a warp solely from ordinary matter rather than exotic matter. Despite the development being trivial or zero everywhere, Natalia demonstrated that she could still transport a ship using the same method. In nearly all theoretical warp drive solutions, exotic matter was required to warp the space in front of and behind the hypothetical passenger. This is a significant breakthrough. While Natalia's theory was based on conventional physics, Lenz's was built on top of it and claims to be even more viable. However, Lenz pointed out that the placement of energy around the warp bubble in his solution differs geometrically from Alcubierre's and most others. Curvatures are maximally separated from energy density in Alcubierre's solution, restricting it to a torus between high contraction and expansion areas. As a result, the proposed Lenz curvatures and sources are closely linked to areas of high energy density and rapid expansion and contraction. Almost the same distance apart, Lenz's may be a better warp solution than those previously proposed because of the geometric differences between his and traditional concepts. Lenz warp drive, of course, is still a theoretical concept. However, he sees a few steps that could be taken right away to move his theory closer to reality, which, like all previous drive theories, includes reducing the amount of energy required. He plans to use his warp drive in a new location with a modern fission reactor. The next goal is to create a warp bubble that can travel at the speed of light, which is 1%. Even though the scientist indicated that he would accept patenting his warp drive, he made it clear that his work is only one part of a larger, rapidly expanding body of work in this area, and that the recent growth in warp drive concepts since Alcubierre's 1994 proposal gives those in his field hope that a real testable version may be closer than we think. Seeing how much progress has been made recently in warp drive has been exciting for Lenz, he said. He believes there is still much progress to be completed and is excited to see what the next few years have in store for him. A top scientist says that warp-speed spaceships are possible, even though it sounds like something out of a science fiction novel. But the question remains the same: how soon will you be able to travel with it shortly? To ensure that you never miss any of our new content, please subscribe to our channel and enable notifications. Also, in the comment section below, let us know what you think about scientists finally discovering a new way to travel faster than light. In the comment section. Thank you for watching. Until next time.